AFCON 2025, when will it be held? Well, CAF held an executive council meeting to determine the date for the next African Cup of Nations. We have a date, and it's probably not going to be favorable for some clubs. It'll be interesting as we have a date now for the African Cup of Nations. We'll also talk about the Ghana Under 17 side, who finished fourth at the just ended WAFU Zone B competition. Today's meeting also included a decision on whether they could possibly be involved as the World Cup Under 17 is being expanded to 48 countries and it would be held in Qatar. We'll hear what the latest is on that front, as it's likely that Ghana could get a shout in to the African Cup of Nations Under 17 and then subsequently the World Cup, as it is going to be an expanded format now. Inaki Williams was full of praise for his brother Nico, who was amazing last night when Spain faced Italy in that game. He was integral to that goal getting into the back of the net. We'll hear what Inaki had to say about his brother Nico when he was playing versus Spain. As usual, subscribe if you haven't. Click on that notification bell to get more updates. We'll jump right into it and first talk about the African Cup of Nations 2025. Morocco is set to host it, and the best date Morocco decided on was a summer African Cup of Nations. Unfortunately, as we already know, the Club World Cup, an expanded format with 32 clubs hosted by FIFA, is set to take place around the same time. Yes, FIFA have decided that that is the date they want to host the Club World Cup. But unfortunately, the African Cup of Nations is under threat. The qualifiers will start in September, and after today's executive council meeting, with rumors right that 2026 January to February will be the date, and then subsequently clubs will go on, players will go on into the World Cup in June, July. It has come out that we are in for a winter or end of year 2025 African Cup of Nations. The next AFCON will be played in the winter conditions in Morocco from December 21st, 2025 to January 18th, 2026. So journalists and those media men, everyone will be spending Christmas away from home and be in Morocco for the African Cup of Nations. It will be quite crazy. It would have been perfect to host it in June, but unfortunately, because of the Club World Cup expanded by FIFA to host it in 32 clubs are going to be involved in June, July, the Club World Cup will take place. That because of that, we have to accommodate it and then push our own premier competition to December 21st, 2025 to January 18th, 2026. That is the date. I don't know if club football will have to pause for that one. Club football probably have to pause for it. And I don't know. Probably that will have to be the ideal situation. We know there's a winter break. So maybe around that time. But we know 26th is the prime fixture of the English football calendar. The 26th Boxing Day fixtures, and during the Christmas period is quite busy for the English Premier League. Will they break around that time for most of our players who will be based there, the likes of Kudus Mohammed, Kamaldeen Sulemana? Will we be able, or will the English Premier League be able to pause for them to go take part in the African Cup of Nations around that time? Maybe FIFA will force their hands and that will be accommodated, but it is not ideal. In light of all these interferences and the dates and times and everything, do you think that the African Cup of Nations should be played every 4 years? It has been proposed before, but seriously, I think it's something we have to look into and see how feasible it is. It has to be something we can look at and make happen, in my opinion. I think 4 years, so that we don't put so much pressure on players. Will 4 years be feasible? Will 4 years be okay than 2 years? Let me know what you think in the comments box. But the date, mark it in your calendar, December 21st to January 18th, 2026, 2025 to 2026. we might be spending a new year in another country. People will not be able to spend Christmas and end of year festivities with their families. It's a possibility. My next story has to do with the Ghana Under 17 side, the Black Starlets, the CAF's expansion of the AFCON Under 17. Now, it's owing to the fact that the World Cup is going to have 12 African countries, and in light of that, more can go into the AFCON Under 17, and currently 12 teams with qualification determined on zonal basis, with each zone, including CAF B, where Ghana competes, presenting 2 teams. That's what is currently there. The expected expansion means that each zone will now present 4 teams. This is particularly good news for Ghana, who finished 4th in this year's WAFU Zone B competition. Official communique has not come in yet from CAF. The tournament hosted in Accra saw Burkina Faso emerge as champions after defeating Ivory Coast in the final, with Nigeria securing 3rd place. Initially, only top 2 teams were going to make it, but 3rd and 4th look like it's going to be a possibility for Ghana to sneak in there. Do I think they deserve it? Probably not. They wavered and withered get into the competition. So it is unfortunate that we withered heading into the competition. But if we don't go to the African Cup of Nations, it will mean that these bunch of players will not get the necessary exposure and development they probably need. So yeah, deserve? Probably not, but it is what it is. If it's 4 teams, that's from Zone B, that is confirmed, that is going, it will be great news for me, in my opinion. My next story has to do with Nico Williams' amazing display versus Italy, which got his team the win. Nico was instrumental, and Inaki was full of praise, calling him star boy. He was one of their most influential players when they defeated Italy 1-0 in their group game, securing their qualification to the round of 16. Nico created more chances, completed the most dribbles, hit the bar, and his cross led to the winner. Such an exciting talent. Star boy is what Inaki Williams wrote about him on social media, Twitter, that is. Congratulations to Nico Williams. In light of this performance, made people of the opinion that Ghanaians probably got the wrong Williams brother, but I don't think so. I just feel that probably Nico could have been in this Ghana team and would still be frustrated, as Inaki is. Yeah, I think it's a system kind of thing. I don't know, but I feel that we didn't get the wrong Inaki, wrong Williams brother. I just feel our utilization of Inaki, for example, not feeding balls to him and all that, probably Nico would be on the wings providing crosses, and our finishers would not be finishing them. It could have been the same situation. And that has been it for today. Talking to you about Ghana's chances of making it into the AFCON Under 17 expansion of the World Cup is the reason for that. And the AFCON dates, 23rd December 2025 to January 18th, 2026. Confirmed at the CAF Executive Council meeting. And Nico praises showered on him by his brother Inaki. I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great weekend.